Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Fed Up with me, the eternal miserable one, Fed Up Gaz. Joining me today is Meathook, aka Ivan from the Norwegian death metal band Blood Red Throne. How is it going
Yes,
this evening, man?
chilling, killing, brother. Chilling, killing.
Chilling, killing, best way to be, man, best way to be.
Fucking A.
So for those who may not have heard of Blood Red Throne before, could you tell us a little bit about your part in the band? The instruments you play and when you joined.
Well, I'm a guitar player. Been in the band since the end of 2009, I believe. Yeah.
Wow.
Uh,
So
and been in the band since, So
yeah.
that's my story in the band, So been in the band for quite a long time, and yeah, good times.
Yeah, been in there for a while now. I still feel Blood Red Throne, and I don't mean this in a horrible sense either. I still feel like we all know you in Europe, but outside of Europe, even though I've got friends in America, who do know Blood Red Throne, I still feel you could be more well known out there in North America, Australia, and South America.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm totally off with that. Has that been your experience? And would you like to get out to some fests and shows there, help spread the name?
Well, we've toured the States and Canada, like with Dimmy Borgit and Grave. I was 2010, 2011, and we played a couple of festivals in the States, and we've been to South America a couple of times, Mexico. So we're well known. But I mean, of course, you always want to blow shit up, get bigger and play the big festivals and stuff like that. Even though we've done that, but yeah, I mean, we got a killer fucking fan base out there, and people are awesome. And every time we do a show or shit like that, we don't hang around backstage. We're with the fans, shooting whiskey, just having a good motherfucking time, brother. Hell yeah.
Best way to be, and there was a classic Gaz gaff there, me opening up. Oh, so I feel you're more well known. You were like, nope, we've played there well known. Yeah, it's the best way. It's the best way to be like that with the fans, because I feel bands sometimes need to remember we all still are fans. That's how we got into the music. It's good for building that personal rapport and relationship with people who are there as well, to say, look, hey, we're just one of you. We play the music. What you come to see, come talk to us. That's great stuff. One thing I always like to open up with when I'm talking to guests, Ivan, is looking at the artwork. And the artwork for, I'm going to take a deep breath as I pronounce the name. Hopefully I don't butcher it. Nonagon, is that how you say it?
Exactly.
Nonagon.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, there's progress. I wouldn't think I'm
Yeah.
learning. I'm studying 3 languages as well, and
oh wow, impressive.
At times. The thing that I really noticed with the cover, though, it's very striking. It's got like a definite cosmic horror vibe. It looks like a hell dimension as well. Makes me even think of games like Doom Eternal. Everything is there. I like even the background, in the sky, where you see like the clouds, the light shining through, and you've got like this, I think it's like a spear tower or something in the middle, and all like the rocks and everything flying through the air. It's very cinematic. So I'm just curious, who did that artwork, and did you as a band work with them and develop the idea, or did you give them total free reign?
I believe it was free range, but I don't remember his name. God damn, I do not remember that. But we're signed on Soul Seller Records.
Yeah.
So I believe it was one of the fellas who are in that contact, with
Yeah.
with a label, you know. So, but unfortunately, I don't remember his name. You know, it's like I'm really bad with fucking names, you know. So,
Same, mate. Same
yeah,
here, man.
yeah.
Same
But I do totally agree when it comes to the art and stuff like that, you know. So it's really mesmerizing. And when we got it, we were like, okay, holy shit, this is fucking awesome. You know, this can be on a. I reckon we're gonna produce some T-shirts with,
Whoa.
especially that skull. You know, that would be awesome.
Oh yeah, it's I say, folks, when you see it, it really is captivating. It draws you in, very cinematic. If you're a fan of any of the, you know, the game I mentioned, sci-fi, horror, everything is there. I believe I've just got the name of the art very quickly. Sounds like it's a Greek dude, Janis Nakas of Remedy Art Design.
Yeah.
Shout out
Sounds
to
familiar.
yeah.
Hell
So
yeah, hell yeah.
I'm not
Good
surprised. Yeah, I'm not surprised. The reaction was just man when he saw, because the bottom as well. Oh man, it's even got like no intentional Viking reference here, but like Ragnarok with this kind of hellish undead version of the serpent. You know how it coils around the bottom of the
Definitely,
spire. See that, man?
definitely.
That's. I mean, that must have spoke to your blood being, you know,
Yeah,
Scandinavian as well. So
absolutely. He's like a goddamn tornado, just like in this like universe thing, hell,
yeah.
like taken out of a fucking, what can I say? I don't know if you've seen that movie, Event Horizon, stuff
Oh
like that,
yes.
sort of like far out shit, you know. So
Oh,
hell yeah.
dude, that movie gets mentioned so much by everybody who comes on the show because it's such a cult classic. And I don't know if you're a fan of
Exactly.
Warhammer 40,000 at all, but it's like a chaos movie in
Yeah,
space. The way Sam Neill ends up like almost becoming a chaos cultist, and this ship has come from an unknown part of space. I was only talking with a guy from a Doom band the other day. We were mentioning how cosmic horror's coming a lot into extreme metal, and we were saying it's like it's got the horror vibe that we have in traditional horror, a little bit of the sci-fi element, but it's got that mystery element. I think that's what's attractive about it because it's something from unknown. It was from space. It's unknown. It's that mystery. What is out there? It's from that dimension.
exactly.
And I think the way,
Especially the technical bands too, you know.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
technical bands, they're into that, you know, like crazy hi-fi space
yeah,
technical shit, you know. So that's cool.
yeah, definitely. Hits all the right buttons for me as a colossal nerd, if you haven't guessed. So,
Awesome.
the opener, man. Speaking of horror, I thought it reminded me of like the introductions, like from a horror movie. Then the vocals chime in. Then you've got your very uh, well-known signature chunky riffing, those thick riffs that you've always had in Blood Red
Yes,
Throne,
sir.
sorry, and then that patient build-up. So, you know, when you were getting the tracks together, did you all sit down and we want an intro that is going to give that feel to the fans, have that patient build-up, you know, enrich them with the atmosphere?
Well, the thing is, the way we write music is Daniel did, the big boss in the band. He writes his songs and arranges or arranges. How do you say call it?
Yeah,
Arranging.
arranges.
You know.
Yeah,
So he's a really fucking good songwriter. You know, he knows his shit. You know, he's been doing this
yeah,
for a long time, and a lot of motherfuckers out there like this shit. You know that we're doing. And me personally, you know, I'm just like um, Tempest song, the Tempest. I had some riffs, and I was at Daniel's house. We're like throwing things back and forward, and a lot of that song, you know, I wrote it in the studio. You know, I was just like things were just like coming out of me. You know, so. So that's as Dimebag Daryl would say, you know, play with your goddamn soul. You know, that's when things end up being pretty fucking good. You know, and I'm true believer of that, you know. So yeah.
Yeah, agreed. I think I think we should apply that to anything in life. All comes from within, that natural passion if you enjoy it, especially if you're a musician. If you're gonna, no intentional pun on Soul Seller Records, but have no soul in the music, no feeling, and just that's going to come
Yeah.
across the fans, man. You know, you've got to enjoy it, then they'll embrace it. And it's
Yeah.
interesting. Sorry, you get a word, and I know I talk like 100 miles an hour, so I've cut you off.
No, what can I say? You know, me personally, I've been these like 2 years, you know, when we backtrack, you know, I take things more professionally, you know, I do things more, I get into the zone and I take things more serious when it comes to music, you know. Like listening to a song, like recording it, writing it, listening to it, you know, how does this feel? How does it feel when I'm sober? How does it feel when I'm fucking shit-faced, you know, and stuff like that. So if it feels all right, in all circumstances, you know, I've got a good goddamn song, you know. So it's really important, you know, to grind on the material, you know. So yeah.
Is that a hard challenge to meet sometimes though? Because you want it to sound right, you want it to feel right, and there's the point where I think this can be a problem all creative people can have, where you can be too much of a perfectionist and think, well, man, if I'm never going to kind of draw a line somewhere, this isn't going to be done. Or is it just with experience, you just automatically, like intuitively know when, okay, this is right, I can move on to writing the next riffs for a song?
Exactly, man. Exactly. You just said it. You know, I mean, lately I've been more and more, what can I say, perfectionist. You know, and it's like taking things to a different level and like cranking it up. You know, but it's all about the feel, man. The feel, the soul, and we've been writing music for quite a long time. You know, and that gets into your blood, in your soul, in your body, and stuff like that. So brain gets bigger, you know. You write better songs, and I mean, and it's really important, you know, to when you write a song, you know, it's how would it feel, you know, if we play this song live, you know. So some of the songs Nonagon album, you know, I wouldn't say they are perfect live songs, and some of them are really, I mean, written especially for the live crowd, you know. So yeah, we got a good mixture, you know. We got a good fucking mixture, you know. So yeah, but I mean, you said it, brother.
Yeah, I feel you do, and we'll go through the tracks as well and talk about them. The one thing I can definitely say I noticed when I've listened through several times now is, you know, you mentioned for playing live there, it really has maintained the riffage and that MOSH heaviness, that pit sound. You know, that comes across even with the audio quality is really amped up on this one as well. You know, which we'll get into. Just coming to the name of the album, Nonagon, I'm just curious what inspired that name and title.
Well, Sindre, our new vocalist, give me a second. He's into, oh Lord, he talked about this in our latest interview. It's about poet, I think.
All right.
Yeah, I'm not. God damn, I can't remember that. But yeah. So he is into all this weird poetry and like stories and stuff like that. So it comes from there, you know. So
yeah.
So I believe, like, when you see the cover, you understand the whole thing about songwriting and shit like that,
Yeah.
So it matches each other. It matches pretty good.
Yeah, that's really interesting to hear, man. I mean, there's certainly some really dark poetry out there as well. I mean, all that like surrealism stuff as well, which gives me a migraine just looking at it. Look up like, what are they? Like, but yeah, certainly I'm there, man. Well, once we the opener as well, as I said. Oh, sorry, go on. Well, I think it was an audio delay. Then I thought you were going to say something there, Ivan. Ode to the Obscene ones, past Epitaph Inscribed. This was a nice one because it's very direct death metal. The audio quality is extremely good, as I mentioned. I feel that you guys, you haven't sacrificed the heaviness for that cleaner sound. Sometimes we can get some bands where they'll focus on being really clean and then they can lose a bit of that heaviness. I feel you guys haven't. You've maintained that balance and it's got the brutality. So I just wondered if you could tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind the name of the song, the themes, and how you put the music together as well.
Well, literally, when it comes to the lyrics and stuff like that, I don't got too much control over that. Sindre, our vocalist, he nails that down. Did a really, really good job. I believe it was like 2 weeks or something, and he just like nailed it down.
Wow.
So proud of him. Really proud of that. He's a great musician, great vocalist. I'm learning. I mean, he's a guitar player, and he's giving me tips and shit like that, so big ups for him. But when it comes to writing songs, as I said, Daniel does his things, and I just show up at his studio with a lot of riffs and shit like that, ideas. And we just he literally just produces that, my songs, so we're working together on that. It's really important, because Daniel, he is Blood Red Throne, and it's important to keep that Blood Red Throne style. Yeah. But me personally, I was, when it comes to extreme music, I'm a huge fan of the more extreme it is, the more I love it, So especially speed, I'm a huge speed fan, and I'm a huge fan of grindcore, and death grind and stuff like that. Pig Destroyer, Nasum, Rotten Sound, and stuff like that. So I contribute with a lot of the intense and fast stuff, So and I'm a huge fan of deathcore too, like Carnifex and Suicide Silence and stuff like that, So I mean, we listen to a lot of different shit, and when you listen to a lot of shit, it gets into your system, So it's a huge inspiration, and you just bring your music to a new level,
That is
yeah, and in the end, it's we program all the drums, we listen to it, and we live apart, all of us, we got Freddie, he lives in Kristiansund, that's like on the other fucking side of Norway, north, far away from here, so we never jam or we never practice, and rest of us are in the south, so it's all about mailing shit, and stuff like that. So and Freddie recorded the drums at his place where he practices, So all of that just got sent to Ronny Björnström in Sweden. Love the guy. He has been a huge help, and he's a magnificent mixer, master, or producer and stuff like that. So yeah, that's how shit works in Blood Red Throne, and we've been doing it since forever, So yeah.
Man, I'm not kidding here. When you mentioned grindcore, you were talking about speed. I'd already thought of grindcore, and I was actually about to ask you about that. Then you mentioned it, and
Oh,
I'm the same. When I used to do my radio shows as well, I used to play loads of grindcore, power violence, very fast hardcore as well. There's
yeah, fuck
something to
yeah.
be said about that speed and rawness and directness. And I know I think you're about to do your first show in Finland soon. And man, Finland has some insane grindcore, hardcore as well. There's a band called Mora. Don't know if you've heard of them. They're pretty tight. Two female vocalists, I think. Quite
Okay,
angry stuff. And is it noisy
check it out.
in Finland? Trying to
The
think.
Iceland. That would be
Iceland.
our first show
Iceland
in
for
Iceland. Yeah,
Gaff
but I
again.
mean, Finland. We played Finland a couple of times. This year we were at this shit. I don't remember the name of the festival, Tulsas or something like that. But I mean, uh, even Finland's got a lot of good grindcore. I mean, you got Rotten Sound. Love those guys.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, they had a band as well there. Sadly, they stopped being active some years ago. They were called Sota Jumala, death metal band. They were pretty good. And Shrapnel Stone from Finland, they're a nice
Mhm.
band as well. Love those. But yeah, there's just something to be said about that speed and hyperness and directness. Deathcore as well for the insane breakdowns, the drumming,
Yeah.
some alley vocals. It's just beautiful pit music, and that genre keeps evolving, which is really tight, really interesting stuff. So you mentioned Tempest Sculptor as well. You know, you've done a lot of the riffs for that.
Yeah.
Is that one of your personal favorites from the album that you really had fun with?
I believe that when it comes to fullness of the song, you got
Yeah.
it's like when I write music, you know, I want it to be like a full deal meal. You got the steak, you got the taters, you got a fucking great gravy, you know, and you got the asparagus with bacon and shit like that, awesome salad and stuff
Full
like that.
flavors.
So I mean, you got speed, you got a killer breakdown, you got some of like shit technical stuff, like technical riff that I'm doing there, you know, and we've done that song live 2 times now, and it's like it's murdering. I mean, that
Whoa.
song is like fucking murdering, man.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So what was the reaction like to it playing it live then? Did people get in the pits?
Yeah, it was I mean, you kick them in the face, and then you know, it's like you keep grinding on a song, you know, so it's like here, then you calm it down a little bit, then it gets more exciting, and then you calm it down a little bit, and then you bring the motherfucker straight down, like bam, 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 you know. So I mean, it's yeah, I love that song, man. Love that song.
That's one of the things I've always enjoyed about you as a band as well. I mentioned earlier about it having that the heaviness, the mosh feels, but when you hear the riffs and in a lot of the songs on this album as well, it's got those signature windmilling parts that I've always heard in Blood Red Throne, where you live imagine that's it, I'm going to get there, I'm just going to swing my head around at speed or throw myself into a wall, whatever I feel like doing at that time.
Exactly.
Which is it's like you were saying earlier about the fields with the music. So just to follow up on that, you know, when you said when you go over to your buddy's house to, you know, he's got the lyrics down and everything. I'm just curious here. When you first see the song title and you're playing, you've got the riffs as well. Does that sometimes do you all take a step back and add more to the music, refine it, edit it a bit to match more the feel? I'm just wondering, you know, the point I'm getting at is, I hope I'm doing this okay, is, you know, do you get like any feelings or images on mind when you see the lyrics, the song title, even after you've already got the riffs there? And I just wondered if if that is so, if that perhaps you then go back, add some more riffs or change it up a bit, or just think, oh no, okay, this match is fine. Very long question, long-winded there.
Yeah. Understand, but with basically what we do is write all the instrumental stuff.
Yeah.
And then the vocals are put on.
Yeah.
So we never go back and what can I say? Add more riffs or shit like that. And that's how we work. It's like you got stage one, writing the song, recording it, producing it, and then the vocals just get inserted, if you may. And that's it, so Sindre did a magnificent job. It was like, especially where he puts the lyrics and stuff like that, and where he sings, he did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it functions like another instrument itself with the vocals, which is definitely well, it's important in any kind of music, but especially in extreme music where you don't want to get the vocals chimed out by the instruments. I feel everything here complements nicely. For example, the title track Nonagon, there's a lot of, as I said, a lot of nice windmilling parts in that one. Very sweaty track. That would be a fun one to play live as well. I'm already thinking of running around in the pit to it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Wait, even with the split tongue sermon as well, that's got like those pit song feels, walls of death, circle pits, got the thick riff in the game with some really solid breakdowns in that song as well.
Yeah.
You were mentioning deathcore earlier. When I heard some of those breakdowns, I thought, is that drawing influence from there? And it's just naturally coming out.
Well, I believe it comes naturally,
Yeah.
And then again, as I said, we listen to a lot of different genres, in metal, so that influences us, but I would say for Blood Red Throne, we don't only want speed, we don't only want heavy, we don't only want just like groove stuff, we want a mixture,
Yeah.
So that's when I remember we were in Dortmund, like Dortmund Death Fest, and with this guy, it was like, man, you guys are my favorite act. Not only because you're killing it live, but your music is it moves you. You got that speedy stuff, you got that slow stuff, and it's dynamic shit. It's really important, So you got a lot of different bands out there. Don't get me wrong. They're like fast, speed. That can be a little bit boring in the long run. It's like next song, next song. So it's like it doesn't move people the way we want to move people. So we're doing a kick-ass job when it comes to that.
Yeah, I'm getting a sense that drawing from different elements, different genres is very important to you all. For the reasons you said as a musician as well. Look, I love all the fast, hyper stuff. I do, but if you're playing it as a musician, that's all you're ever going to do, then I can see how it could become boring. You need to mix it up sometimes. Even put some slow parts in, which can still be insanely heavy. You can still put in a really thick, nasty riff in there, some really solid drums, or even like a longer vocal part. It still can be there. I mean, look at some of the sludge bands out there that aren't fast, but are still heavy, like in a different way, and still very nasty and gnarly. So it can be done. And the good thing as well, as you were saying, you listen to everything, is saying anything. If you're like going to be a writer, writing movies or something, if you look outside that one genre, you can get some of the freshest creative ideas, because if you just stay in that one lane, it's like, well, I'm just going to replicate the other bands, sound like them. You're not going to get your own identity or feel.
Exactly, brother.
it's like, I'm going to go nerdy here. It's like in martial arts as well. There's different styles we learn for different systems. We've got our ground fighting, our grappling, and we'll have our striking.
Yeah,
So if you're training just in that one style all the time, it can get boring. It's just that one element, and you're getting trained. Imagine some music. You think there's got to be another layer to this. There's got to be something else. It's like it's a thirst for knowledge. As you said, expanding the brain, evolving. The same with music, and that's why I've mentioned it a few times. I noticed the audio quality on this one was really, really up there. I feel it's gone up even further, but it's not sacrificed any of the core essence of the band's sound. It's not sacrificed the heaviness. You listen to this album, you still know, right, that's a Blood Red Throne album. It doesn't sound like anything else. The core essence is there.
Exactly.
Yeah. Blade Eulogy. See, I can't even speak English sometimes. Blade Eulogy.
Yeah.
That was another one of my faves from the album. I know I've been on about playing, not always playing fast, but this one I really feel hit you in the face. Very fierce vocals. Riffs really stood out in this one. And the drumming as well. I thought the drumming on this one in particular really complemented the track. So I feel that's going to be another good one to play live. So, would that be one of your other favorites from the album?
Absolutely. Definitely. Like, as you said it, man, it's in your face, and we've played it. It's in our set list now. So, yet again, one of those songs are just like murdering, So,
Yeah.
Definitely very satisfied with that song. And can I say, fans and people, really like it. You get into that groove, when you're live and on album too. You need that groove, man. That's really important, So
yeah, you've got to have a bit of that feeling, so people go
definitely.
away sure remembering it as well. Like, man, this was really solid. Listening to the album, I remember this. I'm going to give it a listen through again. It's the first thing I do whenever I listen to anything. I always listen to it straight away again, because I feel on first listen, even if I really like it, I'm like, I need I need to listen to it again, just so my thoughts are sure.
Exactly.
Always been like that, man. You've got two videos out as well. One which does, the track premiere 2 months ago for Blade Eulogy, and the other one for Tempest Sculptor. I just wondered, are you releasing any other videos, and is the official video for one of the songs coming as well? Where we see you all playing.
We're talking about producing a music video, but I don't want to say too much. Keep it in your mouth.
Yeah.
So I just don't want to give people too much of promises or stuff like that, because what can I say, man? We're in a situation where we're a 4-piece in Blood Red Throne. That's totally new for Blood Red Throne because of our bassist, Stian. He is sick with cancer.
Oh, man.
So, I mean, when it comes to, what can I say, music videos and stuff like that, we need to, see what the fuck is going to happen, So, yeah. But more videos will definitely come. Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, positive vibes to him. I'm really, really sorry to hear that. I lost my granddad too.
Yeah.
Let's hope he pulls through and he'll be all right. And
I visited him yesterday. He's really positive. He's a true motherfucker. If you want a true musician who is true to the music and himself, and he was like, the only thing he's talking about is like getting back on the fucking road. So he's a tough motherfucker. It's leukemia. It's blood cancer, so he's deep shit. But he's gonna survive. He's young.
Yeah, it's got to be there. Got to keep that mind focus there, and definitely, man.
Definitely. Yeah.
But just coming back to Blood Eulogy for a second as well, I thought the name of that track was a very good horror vibe, but also, and this is probably due to my own background, and there'll be people probably watch back this interview and they'll be thinking, how the hell's this guy come up with this interpretation? But it even made me think of, you know, those samurai movies.
Oh yeah.
It even made me think of that Blade Eulogy as well, which I know is a completely different take on it, and that's probably just because of my background. But hey, man, that's the beauty of music. We've got all these different interpretations with the titles, things that it inspires as well. So I'm probably the only person who said that to you about that one. So,
yeah. What can I say? You know, it's all about Sindre. You know, he writes the lyrics and stuff like that, so he's got full control of that. So, but he's a killer poet and a good goddamn musician. So, yeah, you know, this is exactly what we want. And I wouldn't say Blood Red Throne was or is one of those gory bands like Cannibal Corpse and shit, you know, like that in your face violence, you know, like fucked with a knife or pissing blood or whatever. You know, it's more of a different kind of stuff, you know, and especially with Cinder now. So yeah.
Do you feel he's really I guess stepped up the band in that sense, really improved the songwriting, the atmosphere? Like I was saying when I first saw even the album cover, I know that was the artwork, but I thought, you know, the person who did that, Janice, captured that kind of like cinematic vibe, you know, all the horror and everything as well in that cover perfectly. So, you know, you've been in the band a while now. Do you see that big difference with Cinder, with his, you know?
Cinder, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I do. I mean, he's quite new and stuff like that. So, I mean, known the guy for a long time. You know, we've been buddies for a long time. So it was awesome when he came into the band. You know, because not only is he good, you know, but I'm learning stuff from him. You know, so that is just magnificent. And yeah,
that must give you such a good energy, man, rewarding as well with your learning, you're bouncing off someone rather than be, and this is no disrespect to some of these bands, but where they've been playing together a long time and it becomes so kind of it becomes such a kind of monotone formula where they kind of stagnate, they get stuck. You know, creatively for you as a musician and obviously personally as well, that must be it just must give like a whole new fresh vibe on coming in to make the music. Just like, yeah, man, this is exciting.
Exactly. Daniel was really into that, what you're talking about now, you know, because he's that kind of dude who works hard, knows what he wants, and he wants to work with people who literally pour their soul into the fucking music, you know, who want something and who are like precise, you know. For example, you know, if Daniel sends you a fucking mail, you know, it's important that you write him back as soon as possible, work hard and consistent and stuff like that, you know. So for us, it's perfect. It's perfect the way things are going in Blood Red Throne right now. These fellows that we got now is like Sindre and Stian, you know. So I mean, it's just awesome, you know. That's the kind of people that we want to work with.
Yeah, it keeps it productive, positive, that momentum going forward, rather than, like I said, just standing still and then become almost a studio session band in that sense, where you can play well and everything, but there's no soul in it, there's no feeling to it. the closeout track as well, Fleshrend. This was interesting because I tell you why it caught my attention as well, as it's quite a furious one to close out the album. You know, it doesn't slow or stop. It's nice to hear a band do this. It's certainly keeping the carnage, you know, because sometimes you can get a band will put on an outro and it can be a decent outro, you know, some instrumental can be atmospheric, don't get me wrong. Or sometimes, and I'm going to put this delicately, I guess I'll probably upset some bands, where it's just like a standard filler track to close out what you think, well, that could have been taken off the album. But this one, man, like I say, it doesn't sacrifice anything even on this last song. There's still the MOSH there, there's still the heaviness. And you go away after listening to that, like, man, that was the closeout. I want to listen to this again. It's almost like a relentless feel, if that makes sense. So did you all have that in mind? Thought we really want to give the fans something powerful to go out with, so that they remember that close, and then that encourages them, you know, to come back and listen again.
Absolutely, brother. You know, absolutely. We focus a lot on that. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a couple of songs back in the days. You know, where it was like I wouldn't say the songs were meant to be done live, but so it becomes what it becomes, you know. But when you were talking about the last track on the album, right?
Yeah, the last one, Fleshrend.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's like don't leave him with anything, you know. Just like nail it fucking down. That's the dessert, you know.
Yeah,
that's the dessert, you know.
Leave that taste, so then you want more.
No, definitely.
I was reading as well, just coming to the lyrics. I know, you know, obviously you do more. You do more on the riffs, of course, being the guitarist. But just a fun fact for people out there: the lyrics for the album are loosely based on the 9 concentric circles of torment described in Inferno by Dante. Well, and it says as well, yeah, I mean, that's powerful stuff. And it says the album, you know, it's fitting to conceptualize it around that. That being said, every lyric is up for interpretation. Well, you heard mine with one of them, Blade Eulogy, with I got samurai images in my mind, something completely different. And it encourages people to find their own meaning and themes around it. That's really good, because it's like I say, it leaves it open. It leaves it for people to have fun with whatever they see. If they want to go on a mass cosmic horror vibe, a sci-fi fun, or be totally out there like me with some songs thinking, oh yeah, that makes me think of this duel I saw with these samurais, or something completely different. So keeps it fun and fresh for sure.
Definitely.
Excuse me, I'm sorry about this, folks. I'm recovering from flu, so I'm just going to mute for one moment. I need to get more whiskey, man. That's for sure.
Hell yeah. Yeah, if you were here, you know, we got some. Well, shit, it's empty now, but there's a little bit, you know. I'm gonna do the last fucking part, you know. Fuck it.
Yeah, right now. Go out, man. Hey, it's
there you go. Cheers, brother.
Cheers, man. You enjoy. You enjoy.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, good for the throat as well. Helps clean out the pipes. So, other thing I wanted to ask you as well is, we know the impact COVID had on the music industry. Completely shut everything down. Thankfully now, you know, the festivals are back up, bands are playing again. I'm just, you know, it's people say it's quite difficult for bands to make a living now from doing this anyway. So how is it, with that said, has it made the importance of getting out there, playing festivals, playing live, even more of a priority, so it spreads to them and then hopefully people buy the merchandise? I'm just what I'm thinking of is just how artists can meet that challenge now of trying to make a career from music, which seems to be becoming very, very difficult.
What can I say, brother? You know, it was tough times, no shows, nothing, you know, but we were, I mean, me especially, like personally, I took everything really, I took it easy, you know,
Yeah,
because we worked a lot, writing stuff, studio, cover videos. I've done shitload of cover videos and songs and shit like that, and recording new stuff. We nailed a record deal with Nuclear Blast, you know, in that time and stuff like that, you know. So it was it was rough, you know, but rough times just makes you even harder and
yeah,
rougher, you know. So I mean, when you go through that kind of stage, you know, in your life, and you just don't give up and keep on trucking, you know, you're bound for success, you know, and greatness and shitload of money too, you know. So hell yeah.
yeah. Well, it all helps, and that goes into making, you know, the next albums and helping fund tours as well.
Mm,
Especially if it's in faraway places like Japan, for example, which, you know, is not cheap to get to and by any measure. Um, with that said, I'm just wondering as well. You talked about, you know, we've mentioned this a lot about, you know, you all listen to other genres, other music. So
yeah.
as a guitarist, I'm going to ask you another loaded question. Put you right on the spot again. So, you know, you've mentioned the brutal forms of music that you draw inspiration from. Is
Yeah.
there any non-metal music, you know, other styles that you appreciate and that have been an influence on you?
Well, lately, these past years, you know, I've been listening a lot to old school rap, like 90s. Like if you want to call it gangster rap or whatever, you know, but
Yeah,
that violent, hard, and as I would call it, like hardcore rap. We're talking about Cypress Hill,
yeah,
Ice Cube,
yeah,
NWA, and all that, you know, because when it comes to me, brother, it doesn't matter what kind of music genre it is, as long as it's in your face, it's hard,
yeah.
intense. I'm buying it, man.
Reels, real.
And not only that, you know, I listen to a lot of. I'm from Bosnia, you know, so I listen to some of the Bosnian folk music, and it's got the same rhythm as Slayer. Like
Yeah,
it's like Rain in Blood, just the same as like I was like same speed, you know. So and I listen to reggae. I listen to some of the pop music and stuff like that, just to, I mean, because a lot of the pop music, uh, take for example Doja Cat or
yeah,
fucking Taylor Swift, you know. Don't get me wrong, you know, but when I listen to that kind of music, the people who wrote and produced those songs are highly educated when it comes to writing that kind of music. It's really catchy, good written, and I study that kind of music. So I get a lot of inspiration from a lot of that shit, you know. So it just makes me a better musician, and I've always been that kind of dude who thinks outside the box, you know.
yeah.
So yeah, definitely.
Just
Country music, a lot of country, you know. So like outlaw country, that's important
yeah,
too.
yeah. The stress, the real country, like
Yeah, the real
Southern Gothic.
country.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Southern
No,
Gothic
no.
as well.
Come again.
A Southern Gothic as well, which comes under like dark country, outlaw country.
Dark country,
Yeah,
dark blues. I'm a huge blues fan. Started listening to blues before I listened to heavy music, you know.
yeah,
So yeah, when you take for example my side project, Son of a Shotgun, you know, was
Oh, nice
like
man.
it's like um it's like Nile but with blues.
Ooh,
Not the Egyptian shit, you know, but it's like blues. So that was my vision for quite a while, you know, since I was like 17 years old or something like that, you know.
yeah.
So go figure, you know.
That's
So yeah,
That's a really interesting answer. There's a lot to unpack there, and I think it's important to get that out there as well because I think and I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I've said this on every episode when I first get into death metal. I'm not going to say I wasn't. Oh, yeah, death metal is law. There's nothing else is real. Yeah, we all went through that.
yeah,
But I think people can forget that musicians will look at all music, even music that they don't like, because as you were saying, like with pop music, they'll look at the way it's presented, the way it's structured, the way it's been written, see what they can draw from there. And as we were talking earlier, it's like acquiring knowledge, helping us grow. Blues, man. Oh, dude, there used to be a blues hardcore band from Eastern Europe called Bluesbreaker. I forget which country. Oh, dude, you wouldn't think someone would be able to take essentially blues and fuse it with hardcore, and they did. And they were from, I can't remember which country. But they were from one of the Eastern European countries.
what's the
They were
name of the band?
Bluesbreaker. They haven't been
Blues
active.
Breaker.
Yeah, they haven't been active probably for 10, 15 years maybe. Um,
Oh,
but yeah, they were good. Very, very underground band, very raw. But
need to check that out.
yeah. Oh man, awesome. But people forget, like, blues is the roots of metal. It come from there, and then it's that quest of everything just getting heavier and heavier and heavier, and
Yeah,
it's still evolving. We're getting the different styles. Um, Interesting, you mentioned hip hop as well. I'm a huge underground hip hop fan too, and some of that because people forget, like you're saying, because they'll tend to get exposed to the pop elements of it. That there
yeah,
is an underground. There's that harder edge, especially in the old school sounds. I mean, Necro, kind of
yeah,
founder of the horrorcore, which is pretty much death metal hip hop, really.
yeah.
Yeah, and some of that, man, is. And you were saying, like, about outlaw country, dark country.
Yes, sir.
That's an interesting one because although someone would hear it, would first hear that and be, oh, well, this isn't heavy music. Hey, it's as dark, it's as sinister. It's got that atmosphere. It's got that mood. It grabs you. It's still a different form of alternative darkness, I guess, in the music,
Exactly.
and it
Exactly.
feels it's got like that pure spirit. It hasn't been touched, hasn't been too butchered in the sense of having its soul ripped out and then packaged as all glittery and we'll put this in malls everywhere. Something.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that is I thought that was really refreshing to hear. And I know in Norway a possibly is Christian Sand. There was back
Exactly.
in the early kind of about maybe 2012, they had quite a vibrant hip hop scene there. It was at a well known skate park, which I forget the name of now. We're live, but they had some MCs there. So I knew a guy who went to
Yeah.
the tour in Norway, and he said, "Man, he said it was awesome. He said there was people there, from hip hop, punk, and metal, appreciating the music." He
Yeah.
said this was out in Norway. He was from the US, and I'm like, "Man, real music, whatever it is, it's everywhere, whatever the genre."
Yeah. It's fantastic. I mean, you probably heard the Natural Born Killers with Dr. Dre. We did a
Oh,
cover. We did a cover of that song.
oh, whoa!
Yeah, it's on YouTube, you know. So
Oh, I'll look that up.
it's really fucking heavy, you know. So I mean, it just tells you how we're so different but so alike, you know.
Yeah,
So I mean, we were just like we're sitting here with me and my band members and stuff like that, you know, and we're listening to like Exhibit,
yeah,
and then we're listening to shit. It could be like, say for example, Suicide Silence, or yeah, it's like what Exhibit did. They're doing it.
Yeah.
It's the same, like boom, 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 boom. You know, so it's you know, so yeah, it's very, very, very cool, very interesting.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely is, man. Always something out there for everyone, for sure. Um, so you mentioned your other band there, Son of Shotgun, was it?
Yes, sir.
Just get a quick plug on them. Can people find them on the web? You know, are you on Instagram, Facebook?
Yeah, we're all over the place. So yeah.
Nice, nice.
Mm.
Yeah, definitely would love to talk to you about them as well on another show. I understand this is Blood Red Throne, so the other guys are
Hell
like,
yeah.
hey, come on now, it's supposed to be about Blood Red Throne. And we're like,
Exactly, exactly.
quick fire
Yeah.
question for you as well, Ivan. You said you were from Bosnia, so I'm probably going to butcher the pronunciation of this. What is that famous drink I keep hearing about from the Balkans, particularly in Serbian, Bosnia, called Rajika? Is it?
Rakia.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. It's
Rakia.
meant to be really strong as well.
Yeah, it's like Bosnian moonshine made of plums.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's I mean, I grew up on that, and the good thing about it, it doesn't get you so fucking hungover. You get really goddamn drunk, but it doesn't give you those nasty fucking hangovers, you know. So yeah.
Quick recovery,
Mm.
I've heard there's several kinds of it out there as well, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the album Nonagon is due out on Soul Cellar Records 26th of the 1st, so not that long to go, folks. Do you have any upcoming shows early next year to support the album?
We're playing on the 70 tons of metal, that big fucking cruise, you know?
Ooh.
Playing there, and we're talking about like South American tour. 2 weeks, three weeks, I think. Maybe Mexico. We'll see what the hell's gonna happen. We got tons of fucking shows, man. A lot of stuff happening. So it's just I'm really thankful where Blood Red Throne is going and what's happening, and the comments we're getting after every show that we're doing. You know, it's like yeah, it's gonna be a very, very interesting future for Blood Red Throne, man. It's like definitely.
Yeah, I think especially with what you mentioned with the songwriting, kind of that new
Yes.
chemistry, new energy you've got, kind of that, excuse me, revitalized, you know, the band, which is really good and it is exciting for us fans as well. So you played pretty much everywhere, as I forgot when I first started the show in the classic Gaz Gaff. Yeah. So
Yeah.
are there any, you've probably been asked this 900 million times, but if I don't ask it, somebody will say to me, why didn't you ask him this? Are there any parts of the world where you actually haven't been and you would like to get out there?
Definitely. It would be. We're talking about Asia. That'll be awesome, and we were supposed to play in New Zealand and Australia this year, but it got postponed. And Japan would be really fucking awesome, man.
I was thinking that.
Yeah. So I would go apeshit on the fucking sushi, man. I'm a sushi fan,
Oh,
so
dude,
yeah.
Japan is one of those countries which is absolutely magical for me because it's got the tradition, but with kind of very forward at the forefront of technology and everything. It's like kind of two cultures in one in a way, the tradition and very futuristic side. But from what I've heard about it from people I've spoken to, they've said the scene out there, You've got a solid hardcore scene, grindcore. I mean, there's the famous SOB from out there. I'm trying to think of the D-beat band now. They did a split with Extinction of Mankind. Disgust. That's it, the Japanese Disgust. I know there's like 20 million bands with the same name, the UK one as well. And then they've got the death metal scene. That they seem to have a very solid scene overall. And that was it. Yeah, I've remembered now. I was talking to Jonas from a Swiss thrash band called Maniac a couple of episodes back, and they went out there, I think just before COVID, and he said one of the most beautiful countries he's ever been to, but the fans were so passionate. He said you've got so many people in the city, you know, in Tokyo and places like that. He said, and then you're in this venue where you wouldn't think like you'd get all of these people in that small place, and they're all going nuts. And he said, and the atmosphere was nothing like it. And he said to me, we're trying to get back out there because it was just so good. It was, and a lot of people have said that about playing Japan. And a good thing is as well, it's not far from Australia. So if you can get a couple of dates out in Japan, you can hit New Zealand and Australia, possibly on the way back.
Yeah. That would be really awesome, you know. As I say, you know, question of time.
Yeah, exactly. Samurai Mush. Well, folks, pre-order Nonagon. I'll make this happen. You know, get it out there. I know you do have a vinyl release as well, and I just wondered. We'll try and behave myself so we don't give too many spoilers away. Are there any hidden bonus tracks on a vinyl release at all?
No.
Nope. Okay.
Nope.
Quick answer.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. And have you got some nice, lovely? Yep, you have the. Oh man, I'm looking at it now. Oh, that's beautiful. The artwork for the vinyl as well. The front, and the back, and the disc itself. I keep
mind blowing.
Yeah, I've noticed in recent years. I keep saying this on every episode as well. Vinyl is kind of becoming like a collector's piece again for people, where they'll actually have the discs displayed on a wall just for the artwork as posters. Sometimes they'll buy like more than one copy. The vinyl, one to listen to and the other one to put on the wall. I mean, the demand is extremely high, and vinyl is now stupidly expensive. But do you feel as a musician it gives a listener a very different experience with your music for how they hear it?
Oh, definitely. I mean, what can I say? We were going back into that retro kind of style again, you know, because you got Spotify and all that stuff, you know. You're listening to the music, you know. But I remember when I was a fucking punk kid, I was like 13, 14 years old, and just started listening to music, you know. I would listen to the music, and I would look at the artwork and watch the lyrics and stuff like that, you know. So it was, you know, with the vinyl, you know, open up a vinyl, and you see all this cool art, you know. So it's not just the music, you know. It's a full blown fucking thing, you know. So yeah, I think we're gonna invest a lot of time in the art, you know, because it's really appreciated, you know. We like that, definitely.
Yeah, it's an extension of the band, and it gives you something else to appreciate, just like with people collecting movie memorabilia. I view it in that same sense, and it just makes me think, man, I wish I had the space where I could just have a whole wall and then have all this different vinyl on there from various releases. That'd be so tight. So what did put you on the spot again, I guess? What was it that you enjoyed the most in making the album Nonagon as a musician, and what was the most challenging aspect? I get the sense because you're located in the north and south of Norway, so that obviously must have been a challenge as well. But yeah, what was the most enjoyable and challenging thing about making Nonagon?
God damn, that's a good question. I would say the most challenging part is getting the songs to sound the way I wanted them to sound, you know. It's like, take for example Tempest, Sculptor. It was like the way we wrote that song originally didn't sound anything like that, and I
Right.
just like kept listening to it back and forward and stuff like that. And I was like, I told Daniel, is like, this ain't working. We need to get back into the fucking laboratory or whatever you want to call, and and that was the most challenging stuff, and I had some riffs where I had to re-record, because it wasn't tight enough, so yeah, but I love challenges, that just makes me better, and you grow, so
Yeah.
but the most fun part, I would say, when a song is totally done and you're listening to it, so the final product, that is always the fun thing.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And it's always nice. It's better to be faced with something that challenges you to grow rather than being complacent. Or then, like we were saying throughout the conversation today, or then it's just boring. So this is, I'm gonna have to ask it again, because if I don't, someone will say to me, "Why didn't you ask this?" I know you're going to be focusing on Nonagon. I appreciate that. Have you all thought of the next album ahead? To follow on, or way too early to say?
What can I say? I always write new stuff, and I just we got this band app. I write riffs, record it, fill myself, and I put it in. Just when time comes, we got a lot of material and stuff like that. But I believe the next album is gonna be much more interesting and better to work on because of the new member we got in the band. Sindre, he is precise, and he is a hard worker, and that is exactly what we need in the band.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So foremost, we're talking about what can I say, Nonagon, just like full focus on that one right now. So
yeah, exciting times ahead for sure. So just a couple of quick fire ones before I wrap up, save you from my verbal diarrhea. As a guitarist, Ivan, I know you mentioned your blues band that you have outside of Blood Red Throne. Is there any other music that you would like to play one day as a guitarist as well? Anything out there you thought, I've always wanted to have a go at that?
Well, that was a good question. I mean, everything that I want to do, I'm doing.
Yeah.
I got this one-man band, as I call it, where I do a lot of Johnny Cash covers.
All right.
I do Hank the Third, Bob Wayne. It's just
Nice.
me, an acoustic guitar, and I just got this loop station and a drum machine, and I'm just doing my stuff, and so yeah, that's basically what I'm doing, so but if there's, as I said, I love reggae, but it's a bit too simple for me when it comes to playing on guitar. I like more challenging stuff, so yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So when you're not playing all this music, what do you like to do to relax? You mentioned Event Horizon, so that's obviously must be particularly a favorite movie. Any other favorites? Do any sports, anything like that?
Well, I like to get fucked up, man.
Hey, there was an answer I wasn't expecting.
Yeah. So that is it.
Professional at that.
I make my own wine, and when it comes to relaxing, it's I watch Britney Spears music videos and Destiny's Child music videos. Very good music videos. The way they're dancing and stuff like that. I love that. And I get fucking shit faced, so that's how I relax.
There was, you've literally just reminded me of a song by a crossover band from the west coast of the States who are still active again. I forgot the name. And they had a song called Woke Up in the Living Room. And that just popped in my mind as you were describing your favorite recreational activity. I just thought you could just imagine this dude waking up there and there's bottles and things everywhere. Well, man, that was probably, in all honesty, the most interesting answer I've ever had to on the show in that regard. I was not expecting that. I was like, oh yeah, I like this movies, I watch this, I go and play football, I go and do this or whatever. I was like, no man, I just get effed up.
That's what I do, man.
Keep it direct, keep it brutal in all the sense.
Fucking A.
I should have known we were wearing a down shirt, man.
Hell yeah. Fucking A, right, man.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
Hell yeah.
That was hilarious. Didn't expect that. There we go. There we go, folks. You see, the show's very organic. Anything can happen. You've left me with a memory, man. I'm going to be talking about this for a while. In a good way.
Hell yeah. Good times.
Apologies, folks, if you're just tuning in. Still recovering from the flu, hence why I'm having to mute out sometimes and look like something has just possessed me. So, whenever I get to the end of the show, man, I always like to give people the opportunity to shout anything out that they would like to promote. Obviously, Blood Red Throne and Nonagon, we want to do that. But if there is anything else or anybody else that you would like to promote and shout out, the floor is yours, sir.
Wow. First of all, I just want to thank all the Blood Red Throne fans and supporters. Say thank you so much. You motherfuckers rule. Thank you for supporting our music. We love you all. And we'll see you at the shows. We'll see you on stage. We'll see you off the stage. We'll see you at the bar. And thank you so much. And yeah, just want to say tomorrow it will be the 8th of December. So Dimebag Daryl, rest in peace.
Yeah.
I love the man. He's been a huge inspiration for me. I mean, just like I got a lot of love for Dimebag Daryl and Vinnie Paul. Long live the Abbott brothers. And shit, that's it, man. So
just keeping it real for sure. Listen, definitely. Man, I want to thank you for talking with me today, for navigating your way through my verbal tirades as well. It's been a really interesting conversation. Good discussion on music and metal as a whole. Super interesting, folks. Don't forget to get those pre-orders in for Nonagon. You can get it at soulsellerrecords.bandcamp.com. Go on there, put the pre-orders in. Again, thanks to Ivan. Shout out to Jan as well for connecting us at Chewy Shot Works. Greatly appreciated. So, folks, I'm going to hit end stream, and this is uncomfortable pause moment where there's always that delay, and I have to sit here looking like I'm constipated, thinking, has it stopped yet? Has it stopped? So let's do this. In 3, 2, 1.